Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. On April the 1st everyone gets a text on their phone saying April Fools. Sorry about the beginning of the year, let's retry that, and we get sent back to January the 1st, 2020, what's the first thing humanity should do? Fix the calendar and catch the hacker. You're right, I don't want to live the first 3 months of the year again. Laughs. After this Askreddit thread is dead and you come back to reality, you have an entire April to face. Lol. Forced study of pandemics. Forced study of pandemics. A virus is coming, and soon it will spread. But now, if we act, we can change it, he said. He told them the means and the method, and then they simply ignored him and did it again. People that don't have phones are gonna go crazy. Wait. If they didn't have a phone, would the person also go back or be stuck in a different timeline? I'm sorry, time travel is confusing. Not op, but I think he/she means they would have traveled back 4 months but without being able to receive a text explaining it. Break up with my fiancée sooner, at this point she was already cheating on me. I was just blind, / Edit, thanks to everyone to gave me anything, I'm mega drunk trying to drown my sorrows. You guys make it worth it. I will heal, I will be strong, I am hopeful. And mega drunk. Don't worry man, you'll find someone so perfect for you and that loves you so much you'll forget about the pain she caused you. Source, I found that person for me. Alternatively, lots and lots of cats. I don't know about the rest of humanity, but I'm spending every free second I can with my mom. She died January the 28th of a sudden, massive pulmonary embolism. She was only 53 and my dad died 9 years ago. So yeah, that for sure. I think I would also just gave her a million hugs. I miss her. Edit, wow, I deep cleaned my apartment today, then finally picked up my phone and I wasn't expecting so many responses. I guess I finally got to a thread quick enough. LMAO. Thank you to everyone who has offered their condolences, shared their stories, and to those who gave me the awards. I hope everyone's 2020 starts to perk up soon. My brother died January the 21st, and I think I'd take time off work to get him into therapy and detox/rehab for his alcohol addiction. It may be buying time, but at least I'd buy time for my parents because on Monday their house flooded from a broken water heater and old pipes. This year's been shit for them, he lived at home and killed himself there. If anyone you know is feeling like 2020 is not worth it, find a way to spend time with them, even if it's just chatting online about your fat cat. When the sun set to set in a sweet season's sky. When the stars shimmer down, and the moon's passing by. When the summer wind skips, when it blows in the trees. I'll remember your touch by the feel of the breeze. When the clouds disappear, like it was here before. When the white breakers break, and the tide meets the shore. When the rain tumbles down onto still, silver lakes. I'll remember your smile in the ripples it makes. When the stars fade to dawn. When the dawn turns to day. When the summer wind carries the rain clouds away. When the tide travels in, and the sunlight has set. I will miss you forever. And never forget. Produce a lot of disinfectant. Don't forget the toilet paper. There's already enough toilet paper. Idiots just keep buying out the store supplies. Replied back, screw that. Nobody wants to relive that part of history. I'll give them a chance, a way to redemption. They'll be so pleased and relieved, I'm sure they will act soon. But at once in unison, as one they replied. Nobody wants to relive that history. Why I thought they'd take the opportunity was a mystery. Calls Cub. Should we tell him to warn his pilot to take another route, or should we tell him to not go at all on that day? Stay home Cub. Never fly via chopper again to prevent some final destination type cycle. Contain virus in Wuhan itself. Just an interesting note, I heard on NPR an interview with an Italian doctor that said they were experiencing COVID-19 in November, they just didn't know what it was and thought it was extreme pneumonia. Exactly what I was going to say, although it's not certain yet. We didn't have an outburst, we just started counting them. Maybe ban the wet markets so the virus never catches on. The virus was in people by November, it'd be too late for that. Although it is a good idea in general. Seriously, fuck the wet markets. China is going to try their hardest to whitewash their image when all is said and done. We already are appreciating them for excellent containment. I agree they did build a hospital ridiculously fast, but they tried to suppress the news at first. So many people have died, many more have lost their damn jobs. Reading the recent Askreddit about people being laid off was so tough and moving. Edit, https://r/askreddit.com/r/comments/filgamel. Who's to say this hasn't already happened numerous times and we are now stuck in this loop? Because in this scenario everyone knows that time looped back. No, only people with phones. Buy all the toilet paper before March. Continue to not purchase soap. Uses a bidet shower. Bidet gang. Starts shorting stocks. Everyone got the text, not just you genius. Well, to be fair, a lot of people would probably have the same idea, which would result in a crash immediately in January. So probably still a good idea to sell. Dow hits 100,000 with everyone knowing what goes up, continuing the pointless circle jerk of imaginary value. Fire the guy who keeps playing Plague Inc. on the Area 51 computer. Maybe it's one of the idiots that got inside during the raid and was left behind, who found the computer and thinks he is playing Plague Inc. Everything's just going to happen again, but with better memes. Wow, man. Quickly get Wuhan, China quarantined. Close all airports in China, start making virus test kits for everyone that was supposed to leave. Wait a few weeks to see if the people quarantined develop anything. Get hospitals in Wuhan, China as soon as possible. Basically try to keep the virus from spreading. For January the 1st, we should be pushing test kits in Italy, Iran, Spain, Washington State, and New York at a minimum. Testing anyone passing through Hubei and doing aggressive contact tracing. Throw every scientist at the obvious case of both the possibility of rewinding time itself and the fact that there's most likely a higher being, clearly also not acting for the good of our species. Like anyone would give a fuck about COVID-19 at this point. We literally just got a confirmation that a god exists, and that we are most likely a plaything. We're in a simulation. Is it one of the numerous simulations of the Vex? Are they attempting to stop us from finding the traveler? Pope Francis has already asked God to stop the pandemic. If he can't reason with him, I don't know who can. Why would God stop the pandemic? He probably thinks it's funny. Maybe he's like a kid on an anthill with a magnifying glass. Tell Cub not to get in the helicopter. Think he would listen to some radio on the internet telling him to inconvenience himself? Or how would you convince him he was going to die without him sending you to police for death threats? I'm sure this one guy wouldn't be the only one telling him. If everyone he sees and millions of people on the internet are telling him not to get on, then I think he might listen. His fellow NBA players would probably tell him and he'd likely listen to them. Bomb threat from anonymous number. Make police check it out. Save Cub. Giant orgy. How many giants do you know? When you're 410 everyone is a giant. Everyone back in the pile. Buy stock in a toilet paper company. That's genius, because once everyone knows what's going on they will stockpile toilet paper because people are idiots and will think they are genius for buying out the entire store before the shortage without knowing they are causing it. I may steal your idea. Removed. The revolution will not be televised. I see you two are a comrade. Become more self-sufficient. If all the masks are produced in the virus-infected nation, what are you gonna do? Gotta make your own. Also take profit off all healthcare services. This should happen after the pandemic ends. We need to start production again in Western countries and stop relying on China that much. Send the rains down to Australia. Yeah, almost immediately after the bushfires we got extreme flooding. We can't cop a break this year. Fires, floods, plagues. This feels like some biblical shit at this point. It's almost like we built a whole country on usaded and sacred lands. I don't know about humanity, but I would force my brother-in-law to go to the doctor and start taking blood thinners so that he would still be alive rather than dying from a blood clot. This was the most uncomfortable upvote I've given, but it's what I can do to show support. I hope it goes the very best it may, and that everything considered you, your sibling and you brother-in-law are doing the best you can. Start mandatory washing hands. You know how fancy places have bathroom attendants. Now every bathroom has a bathroom attendant, and they're carrying. Well, we could probably contain COVID-19. China would lock down Wuhan immediately, other countries would ban incoming flights from China, and I doubt the virus would escape. We'd have to keep an eye on com as well, but I think we would succeed. It was already out of China by January the 1st. You could do a way better job of limiting it though. Taiwan started inspecting Wuhan passengers before the end of December and was the first countries to ban flights from Wuhan by the end of January. If every country acted as fast as Taiwan did, then it probably wouldn't have gotten this bad. Taiwan got fucked over during the SAR epidemic, so this time, they gave fuck all from what China and WHO was reporting and their suggestions. Instead they set their own team of medical experts to Wuhan and assess the situation. They are also not allowed to attend WHO due to China throwing a hissy fit. https://www.busyssida.com https://n.m.wikipedia.org/wiki https://4eagpolicy.com/2020/03/16